following is an exclusive preview of one of our newest episodes at member-supported Restoration Radio. To access the rest of this episode, as well as our entire library, please visit the links in the description below.
For self-purification, for making a better confession, always the Ignatian comparative, for making a better confession. You go to confession regularly, that's very good. Try to do it better. Again and again, to progress, to advance, make the quality of your spiritual life or Christian life better. 32. I assume that my thoughts are of three sorts. One my own, arising of my own free choice. The other two coming from outside, one from the good spirit, the other from the bad spirit. There can be receive suggestions, inspirations, from either the good spirit, God himself, or angels, or guardian angel especially, or from the bad spirit, devil and his helpers, including the world, as far as it is subject to the devil's power, the prince of the world, as our Lord calls him, and whom he has kicked out for good. The prince of this world will be thrown out, St. John chapter 12, before our Lord goes to suffer and die for us. Thoughts first. Number 33, there are two ways of gaining merit from an evil thought which comes from outside me. There's no one thinking more positively than St. Ignatius. How do you turn evil thoughts to something good? A problem for many people, especially those who tend towards some kinds of scrupulosity, but also in general. For example, the thought occurs to me to commit a mortal sin. I resist it promptly, and it is completely defeated. Game over. Victory won. Great victory. 34. The second way is when the same thought of committing a mortal sin occurs to me, and though I resist it, it recurs again and again. I go on resisting until it is finally defeated. This second way gains more merit than the first. Of course, you mustn't seek to make the temptation to carry on. That's not of our choice. Bad thought, the evil thought comes back like a boomerang, coming back. I keep resisting. And all the more again, merits, greater merits. 35. A venial sin is committed when the same thought of sinning mortally occurs to me, and I listen to it, dwelling on it for some time, or experiencing some sensual pleasure, or showing some negligence in repelling it. Very correct theologically. Venial sin is committed in different ways, some of them given here. Yeah. I listen to it. There is a certain first rush, because of our weakness, our sinful weakness towards the evil thing, the evil thought. That's not the sin. The sin starts where I gave it some credit, I gave it some thought, as St. Ignatius says here. I start listening to the seduction, the thought of committing a sin, a mortal sin. Dwelling on it for some time, it gets worse, but I've not given in to the sin. I've not done anything which justifies supposing a mortal sin. Dwelling on it a little bit. Or experiencing some sensual pleasure by my voluntary dwelling on this thought. How would it be to kill that person? Sensual pleasure. Because also in the sins against the 6th and 9th commandment of the Decalogue. Or, very important, showing some negligence in repelling it. I know I could do better, I sense, but for some reason I can't pick myself up to repel it speedily, the necessary force. 36. There are two ways of committing mortal sin. The first is when a man consents to the evil thought, with the idea of putting his consent into immediate effect, or intending so to act, if he could. The thought of killing someone, but here you really consent, you think somehow of making the next step or the first step to take action, or you certainly intend, you firmly intend to commit the murder, if you could. It's not just daydreaming, another form of temptation or so, which you need to repel, to counteract, but you really intend to do so. I have to go and kill that person. Then you have committed a mortal sin. You have the intention, the will to commit such a